Week 8 of the fantasy football season. These are 5 receivers I'm going to put in my lineup this week. And the first guy is Justin Jefferson, the breakout rookie for the Minnesota Vikings. Jefferson coming off a monster game before the bye versus the Atlanta Falcons with 9 catches for 166 yards. This kid's got breakaway speed, and he could run the routes, man. And this is why he was a first-round pick in the NFL draft from LSU, is Justin Jefferson. And he's going to get better as the weeks go on over there in Minnesota. The running game is going to open it up because Dalvin Cook is back. And he's got a good matchup versus Green Bay. I know Green Bay, a good defense versus receivers, but I don't care. Justin Jefferson's the type of receiver I want in my lineup each and every week. And this week, I'm putting him in there and happily going to put him in there. The second guy I'm going to start is Robby Anderson of the Carolina Panthers, a guy the Jets should have never let go. Robby Anderson, in all his 7 fantasy games this year, he's got double-digit points in all of them, and the trend's going to continue once again this week versus the Atlanta Falcons. And the last time he versed the Falcons, Anderson had 19 fantasy points that day, and he's going to do it again. They got a good offense, the Panthers, middle of the pack. Bridgewater and Anderson got a good rapport. Maybe it's from when Bridgewater was on the Jets in training camp. He's practiced with him. But anyway, Anderson's going to have another nice fantasy game. I'm projecting him 18 points in PPR leagues versus the Atlanta Falcons. The third receiver I like going into the week is Brandon Aiyuk of the San Francisco 49ers. This guy, he's like a Deebo Samuel 2.0. And talking of Deebo Samuel, he's going to be out for the next 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. We saw Aiyuk have a monster game versus the New England Patriots, a team that doesn't really give up 100-plus yards to receivers. But it did happen here in Week 7. Aiyuk going for 6 catches, 115 yards. And with Samuel out, he's going to get number 1 usage as a receiver in that 49ers offense versus Seattle, who gives up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So Aiyuk, he's a definite start right here to put him in your lineup, and you can maybe get a 15 to 20 point game out of Aiyuk, so I'm definitely putting him in. And the next guy I'm putting in there is Travis Fulgham. Once again, he makes the list like he did last week, and he's versing the Dallas Cowboys, a team that could stop nobody, and they're not going to stop the big man Travis Fulgham. This guy's emerged over the last 4 weeks out of nowhere, and the emergence is going to continue for Fulgham. I could expect 15 to 18 points easily, and you could be confident to plug him in there as a number 2 receiver to a flex, because he's going to have his way with the Dallas Cowboys, who cannot stop anybody. So Fulgham and Wentz, they're on my start lists this week. They're going to have good games. And the 5th and final guy I'm going to start is Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Antonio Brown's cousin, that is. He's third in air yards in the NFL, and this week he's got the Pittsburgh Steelers in a division showdown. What a ball game that's going to be. Both these teams, they're going to go up and down the field, I think, and it's going to be an old division shootout. And Malcolm Brown, I could see him breaking one to the house in this one. He's going to get the looks. He's like the only receiver over there. Des Bryant signed, but that's to the practice squad, and I don't think Des Bryant will have much of an impact anyway. So Hollywood Brown, I like the matchup here. I'm going to expect them to get anywhere from 13 to 17 points this week, and anything more than that, it's going to be great. So he's definitely a number 2 flex receiver going into the week of Week 8. So that's 5 wide receivers I'm putting in the starting lineup with confidence of Week 8 of the fantasy football season.